who you want to serve, who your ideal client is. We talked about that yesterday. Today, I want to talk about why you want to sell them, what you actually want to give them that they will pay you money for. Because here's a really big secret. How do I say this? Most people, when they first launch, they really aren't sure if it's the thing that people actually are going to pay them for. And most people, they get it wrong. They get this step wrong. So how do you figure out what it is that people will actually pay you for? And then how do you figure out how to make that happen? The big answer is ask them. Once you've figured out who your ideal client is and how you want to phrase that, then you need to go find some of those people and you need to specifically ask them, what would you pay me for? What would you give anything to have solved? What is your biggest pain point? So you're doing a little bit of market research here. And I also want you, not just that, but I also want you to go and do a little research and find some competitors. And if there aren't competitors in your market, that doesn't mean you've hit a gold mine. That means you've hit a lot of people who don't want what you're offering. Okay? And that's the harsh truth. If you are finding lots of people who don't appear to be terribly successful in your industry, that is also another huge red flag that your industry is maybe not one that is filled with potential clients who will pay you. But ask your clients first. Okay, so this looks like doing in-person surveys. This looks like doing phone conversation surveys. This looks like doing online surveys. Hey Dale, this looks like doing a lot of on the boots on the ground conversations with people. Would you pay me for this? Would you pay other people for this? What would it take for you to get this result? Well, maybe not what would it take, but what would you give if you had this result that you're looking for? And when you know that information, it's going to be a lot easier to dial in the other parts of your marketing. And so some of the questions that you can ask are, what is your biggest pain in this moment with this topic that I'm trying to work with? How have you tried to fix this in the past? What kind of results did you get? What kind of results are you looking for? How much effort are you willing to put into getting those results? How much time are you willing to invest in it? How much money are you willing to invest in it? Take that one with a grain of salt, because really, if it is a bleeding arm problem, they're willing to pay anything for it. But if you just start kind of solving a nice to solve, then you may not get top dollar, and that's okay. And then once you have kind of your answers for those questions, then you can go in and kind of tailor your sales page and what your free thing is based on the answers that they gave you. So the words coming out of their mouth, not the words that you had in your head, but the words that they're telling you are so important to them. Because without that kind of feedback, it is really tough to actually create something that people actually want enough to take action on. And it's a hard lesson for our egos, isn't it? Because we want to believe that we are the be all and end all of knowing what this ideal client wants and how to give it to them. And you may know that, but without doing the market research and pulling their answers out of that and being able to use their words back at them, you're likely not going to convert them because they don't see you as speaking directly to them. Now, as much as I dislike Trump, this is something that he is very, very good at. He speaks the words that his followers want to hear, and he speaks it in their language. Those broken little itty-bitty sentences, those grade 2 words, those are the things that his people say. So when he speaks those words, his followers understand it and they agree with it. Whether you and I agree with it or not, that's what he's doing. So for better or for worse, that's what you need to do in your business with your people in order to get the results that you want, is to ask them to describe their problem, ask them to describe what their ideal solution or ideal outcome would be, and then use those words. Churro, I have hot chocolate over here and she just put her foot in it. Yay. Ask them, okay, I have to put something on top of this. Hang on one second. Okay, ask them what they want, ask them what their outcome is, and then use those words, that language, mirror it back to them so that they feel that rapport with you. And I know that that probably is sounding a little uncomfortable, but there's actually a lot of psychology behind sales. And if you're not using that psychology to your advantage, then your competitors are. But also make sure that there are other people offering successfully what you are trying to offer. If there are not, you're probably not going to be terribly successful. So that's it for tips for today. I hope that this has been incredibly helpful, that combined with yesterday's information, you're starting to get a sense of what you want your business to look like, and that you're kind of getting a little excited to launch, because we need to be ready to launch here. This is all about being ready to launch whatever it is that is your baby into the world. And that is a very exciting moment when you actually do that. Okay, so stay tuned for tomorrow. I'm not sure what time I'm going to be live tomorrow, probably in the morning, but I will be live tomorrow again, where we will be chatting about the next steps. Okay, have a fantastic day and we'll talk soon. Bye.